sometimes I pull a Josh Potter and I can't come. And she gets really offended and asks, well, is it for me? And I kind of have to, like, pretend like I care and be like, no. Like,
What a good guy.
So yeah, what should I say in those situations? Have a good day, man.
What should I say to pretend like I care? Psychopath. But anyway, so
it's amazing. That was my favorite voicemail I've ever heard.
Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children.
And welcome to Dr. After Dark. Christina P is already laughing.
I am, because Nadav's dramatic counting. I mean, he
goes into it
flair,
now.
Yeah.
And speaking of dramatic, I feel so dramatically better having traveled around the country a little bit.
Yes.
Just sort of like my lungs filled with air. I've left the Nazi concentration camp that is California. and I kid you not, that's what it feels like here. And I've visited other states where people live their lives, even though they're kind of scared and they're being careful. It's not the government like up the Tokai the way it is here.
Yes, I'm glad you're happy. You have your lust for life back.
I got it back a little bit. I hope it lasts, and
just enjoy the afterglow, dude.
I will.
Enjoy it.
I'm feeling better. Yeah, I do feel.
It does feel hopeless in LA. I do feel a sense of hopelessness, and I think it's when I get off the freeway and I see homeless camps everywhere. You're like, is this Mad Max? Are we in the fucking?
I drove
movie?
I drove through El Sereno the other day, which I used to take that route to get to the county hospital when I was training there. And it was a canyon of tent. I mean, like I couldn't believe it. It was like I was driving through this canyon, and of course there was a coroner's car there. They were pulling one out dead. As you know, they're just dying in the streets. Who cares? This is not what?
It's bizarre, but
imagine when Europeans come here and look at that and they go, "What the hell is that?" We've got to stop calling it homelessness. We have to stop.
It's mental illness.
Because if you called it
mental
homelessness,
illness,
right? If you call it homelessness, the implication is if you give them a home, you're
it's
done.
Fine.
And no, it's not.
Well, plus, you're right. We have to rename it and make it somewhat more sensitive, I think, or sexy. Yeah. Because homeless implies there's like a choice in this matter. Like you're choosing to just sleep on the sidewalk, you lazy bum, and that's not the culture.
Right. So it's also it also is stigmatizing at the same time as it's inaccurate and it doesn't help us deal with the problem.
At the same time, I want you to run for office to fix these problems. When are you going to do it?
I may move out first.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm thinking about. First I thought I got to go run for office because I got to do something. This is out of control. Now I'm thinking I got to leave.
Really?
Mostly because I've been around the country, and I've seen the rest of the country's fine compared to this.
Wow.
I'm sure Portland and Seattle not so great, but Texas, Nevada. I've been to Nevada. Looked pretty good.
Yeah. Do you gamble?
Not really.
I don't see you doing that.
No, I like playing craps because it's social and fun and stuff.
Is that you just throw die?
Yeah.
Oh, look at it. You got the gambler in here.
Yeah. But I look at it as adult entertainment, not gambling, right? Yeah. And every time I get to about $90 loss, and I get so pissed at myself, like, what's the matter with me? Yeah. Jesus, you know you're going to lose this money. Why did you even start? You're going to lose the money every time. No, it was entertainment. It was $90 investment in entertainment.
Now, were your parents were big on not spending, right?
My dad.
Your dad. So let's talk about your dad, because we always talk about my crazy dad.
Yeah. That's how
you like your dad? You liked him?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depended on different phases of my life. At times I probably had really idolized him and things and admired him and felt a very warm connection to him, although he was always sort of off in the distance a little bit. And he was pretty narcissistic, but it was sort of like a reverse narcissism. You know, some people are super saccharine nice in helping other people and being warm and present to other people in a way of getting their narcissistic needs met. You know what I mean? So it was kind of it was a narcissism, but it was a reverse kind of. It wasn't a mean, nasty narcissist at all. And he was a family practitioner. He was a physician, and he was a lot of growing up like, you're going to do what I do. You're going to do it, and all that kind of stuff. He grew up in abject poverty. His parents were from Belarus, Ukraine. Came here, had to be sponsored to pay to get in, and all this, hard. People talk about immigration like, well, your family came in. Oh, no. My family came on a ship. They had to be sponsored. They went from Montreal to Hartford then they went somewhere in Indiana and then Chicago and finally landed and opened a restaurant, and then the Depression hit. And they lost everything. And were essentially in the streets and didn't know how they were going to eat and things. Ended up becoming grocers, like a grocery store in Elmhurst, outside of Chicago. And so my dad was profoundly traumatized by all that.
Of course.
Profoundly.
I mean, you come from abject poverty, and then you finally make it to the promised land, and then it's taken from you.
They were, and by the way, they were leaving the pogroms and stuff. They were Belarusian, Ukrainian Jews who were being hit by the Tsarist and the Bolsheviks, and everybody was out for them. So there's there was this huge exodus from that region, sort of a diaspora. And but here's the comedy. So having been so traumatized, it was necessary for him to engage in intergenerational transmission of that trauma.
Yes, that's the best part.
Yes, that's
it
the
takes
best part.
3 generations, right?
At least. And so what I got was,
yeah.
So he had workaholism, which I had too.
Yeah. I mean, what are you talking to? Yeah, come on. 20 podcasts a week. I'm there.
It's good addiction. And he
it actually is when you think about it. It's productive. It's good. It's better than any other.
Yeah.
But sorry,
I watched the movie 1917 the way over from New York.
Yeah.
And I just felt so diminished by that. Like, I don't try hard at all. I forget my work.
Right.
You know what I mean? I need to do more. That was
could risk your life.
Yeah, it was one day in that dude's life. Give me a break. So he would give me from the age of 2 on, and again, the extraordinary thing when people traumatize young children, you think, how could they do that? So his deal was, as I would begin outgrowing my clothing, he would go, "Oh, you want shoes? You need shoes." First of all, then he'd tell me about walking to school in the snow of Chicago without shoes and blah, 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 blah. But you need shoes. It's okay. But go ahead, go get them. But when you buy them, tomorrow you're going to have to come visit me in the poorhouse. I'll be in the poorhouse. It's okay. You can visit me. You can wave through the window. I'll be there. We can wave at each other, but I'll be in the poorhouse. This is my entire childhood. I would hear that story every day. And I concocted a place in my head. I can still visualize it. And so if I ever, particularly was around clothing, if I needed clothing, that was when he was going to the poorhouse. So it was.
So your needs were seen as like driving him into complete ruin.
Well,
so to have any
financial need was catastrophe. And not only was I causing the catastrophe, but there was just going to be a general catastrophe tomorrow too. Right, because he'd been through depression, so that was always in the air. Like, it's all over tomorrow. It's all ends tomorrow. Bury coins in the backyard because they're coming for you. It ends tomorrow. And you would never know he was that guy. And it all got transmitted to me.
Yeah.
So.
But you've definitely dealt with that in a more positive manner.
I still. It's where the workaholism kicked in.
Of course.
You know, and so it was
better than alcoholism.
I'll grant that. And then my mom was really nutty and very abusive.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much of a 1-2.
And look what a great person they made. And
end up with looking at brown and white.
I know, but what's so upsetting is like that I would hate for your parents to take credit for you. Because you know that they do. They're like, yeah, well, look what we created. You are so successful, Dr. Drew.
Well, but they may talk that way about me, but never to my face.
Oh, no.
Ever.
No, of course
not. It was always like, literally, as I was like getting my associate clinical professorship, my mom was like, how come you're not working on your opera, anymore? How come you're not working on your repertoire? I'm like, I'm busy. I'm like,
too much. But did you bond over certain things? Did you have common interests?
Yeah, because medicine and stuff, and that was good.
And he approved of that, I assume, that decision.
Sure. Yeah, when I was out, for a few years, I was out doing my thing. I wasn't going to do that, and that was, oh my God, you're killing me now.
The end of the world. For a few years. So you took a few years between like college
I started off, I think I've told you the story. I started off and I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm out. These guys are too smart. I'm not up for this. And my brain wasn't developed to the point where I could handle it emotionally. And so I'm like, I'm going to do music and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to leave college. I'm going to, and I got so depressed. It was ridiculous. And then as I started having panic attacks, and it was really what my big depressive episode was. And I started thinking, maybe the science gives me something. I'll immediately start to feel better.
Yeah.
And then when I got back to it, my brain had matured a couple of years. And I'm telling you something, the male brain has to be online before you can really engage in really hard academic pursuits.
Well, and I think 28, like you've said that number before, and I would argue that women, same deal. I wasn't a person until I hit 28.
You should have another conversation with Susan Pinsky about that.
Oh,
I think
can't wait. She was a hit.
That would be very interesting, that conversation.
Yeah. Well,
because she went back to college then. That's when she found.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Good for her. Yeah. But 28, that seems to be the maturity. That's like, isn't that when the brain becomes an adult brain?
Very, for the most part. And it's funny, I'm hearing my kids who are 27, almost 28, start to talk about, I think I'm becoming an adult. I think I'm getting more realistic about the world and what things are. And literally those words are coming out of their mouth. I'm like, good.
Yeah. And then at 40 for me, I got real dialed in. I was like, oh, fuck, this is how this shit works. Like, you know, when you have that epiphany, you're like, this is how the world is? God damn motherfuck. And it's so wonderful to have like the wisdom now of like, that's what,
Yeah. Well, and it's important. You and I always talk about the crazy times we're in and trying to get through all this.
I think we're in another depression. This feels like it
feels like another depression, and we need the rational revolution. We need the rational revolution.
We're doing it. People have been supporting this.
I know.
Well, here's the deal, but here's what we decided.
Somebody was actually building it. I saw a Twitter feed that's building it.
I love it. Yeah. Fucking A, man. Yeah. Well, quote us away.
It's a little more on the pragmatism end of the scale, but it's still a rational revolution. Yeah.
I'm all for it. And here's what we need to do. And I think that we need to push back on cancel culture. I think we need, and when it's warranted, let's fucking push back on these nutbags that are trying to cancel.
I mean, it's the same as
stop kowtowing to this.
It's McCarthyism.
I know.
It's a McCarthyism.
But I challenge corporations to not kowtow to these tiny little group, this weirdo, this select group of people doing all this mayhem. I don't know. Fuck them, man. Fuck them. Go get a job, hippie.
How dare you? Let's talk about a life of UTIs. I'm a 21-year-old male. I had a UTI my whole adolescence. I don't think that's true. I have uncircumcised. I took good care of myself. For the last 10 years, I've seen 2 separate urologists. Both times they checked my bladder, blah, blah, blah. No abnormalities. Given these results, I'm impressed my doctors have given up, so they just throw antibiotics at me. I wonder if he's having urinary tract infections.
What do you think he's having?
Just having urethral irritation or something. Chronic UTIs and nothing has... Chomo named Dan? A Chomo? I don't know. Dan, I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry, but there's something missing in that story. I want to know that you actually have...
A Chomo.
Oh, a Chomo. What is a Chomo?
Dan. A child molester.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
It's from Fed Smoker.
Okay, of course.
I was like, a coma? That sounds Italian. I don't know what this motherfucker is saying.
Anal sex and hemorrhoid. Anyway, I want to hear. I want to see labs that show you actually have pyuria, like white cells in the urine. I don't believe
Because one time, might be too much information. I thought I was having UTIs, and then they're like, oh, you're just peeing blood. And I was like, what? And my guy was like, yeah, you're peeing a tiny amount of blood and it's irritating. I'm like, well, what do I do? He's like, nothing. Just wait it out. And sure enough, just went away on its own. But
when was that?
This is like a decade ago. Right. I was touring. I was stressed out. I was really running myself into the ground.
Do you ever ride bikes or anything?
Not that.
Spinning or anything? Yeah.
No.
So I always, blood in the urine is a little bit of a more problematic thing than even blood in the stool. And so it's
Whoops.
Yeah, it's something sort of you should see a urologist.
I did at the time, and then he rechecked me, and I was fine.
So that's fine. That's it then.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy anal sex before I had children, but just had 2 natural births, and my hemorrhoids from that were just horrible.
Yeah.
It's been 7 years since I had had kids, but I've been too afraid to try anal again. Will my beehole be more susceptible to painful hemorrhoids since they were so bad before? My boyfriend has a pretty big dick, so I'm extra apprehensive.
I like you reading that. My boyfriend has a pretty big dick.
I'm just wondering if a boyfriend is the father of the children. It sort of strikes me as interesting. But I want to be able to enjoy my whole body. Should I risk it, or will I destroy my anus completely? Well, maybe try smaller first. What's that?
I'm pointing at you. I'm saying that's what's up.
Okay.
Work your way in.
Yeah,
Start
try first. You are prone to hemorrhoids, but just because you had them during pregnancy doesn't mean you're necessarily going to have them outside of pregnancy.
That's true.
But you're going to have to be slow and easy, and everyone's going to have to go careful.
Well, because external hemorrhoids, do they go away, or they just shrinky dink?
They're because the baby's pushing down, the blood pools. And so, yeah.
Well, I had hemorrhoids with both kids, too. And then the minute they came out of me, they pretty much went away.
Right. They go away. So it's from the pressure of the child there.
Yeah.
And so, it's something to be careful of. She hated them so much, she doesn't want them to come back.
I don't blame you.
HPV vaccine during COVID. My question is regarding the HPV vaccine. I got out of a long-term relationship. Would you recommend getting the vaccine for a 26-year-old male? Absolutely.
Oh, get it now.
Prevents cancer, everybody. I love that Michael Douglas is out there promoting the fact that he got his head and neck cancer because of HPV, and nobody's listening to him.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Could have been prevented.
Yes. With a vaccine with the safest best safety profile of any vaccine in history. Most countries require it because they don't want to be taking care of cancer.
No shit. P.S. How's the COVID vaccine happening?
Also could vaccine temporarily compromise the immune system, making no.
Can't.
The COVID vaccine, I'm going to predict we will see a vaccine in late October. That's my prediction.
Oh, that's so soon.
And it will be for teachers and doctors and other first-line personnel. That I believe, and I believe it will be brought with great fanfare. I don't know which vaccine though. There's 3 really good ones that are on the race to get there. One is this novel mRNA vaccine.
RNA.
And this is being recorded on 8/17, so I'm talking about October. Still, it's for sure November.
Damn.
For sure, it's good. And I've signed up for several phase 3 trials.
Several.
Yeah, every time I come upon one, I just sign up because I want to get into. I can't get the vaccine fast enough.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah,
I want to
do the Moderna one because it's such novel technology, and I want to push that science for it. I want to be part of pushing the science for it. So,
what could be the side effects? What could be the side effects?
I mean, there can be weird activations of the immune system that cause, where you attack yourself. Like people understand that in with lupus and things like that. There could all kinds of variations on that theme that some can get triggered. But
you're fine. Yeah. You're healthy.
And it can be treated if it does and whatever. You know what I mean?
Doctors are the best. You guys are fearless because you're like, I've had that. I've had H1N1.
Because we know how bad it can get. We know what's out there. Like for me, prostate cancer is like, fine, bring it. I'll take that. No problem. Thank you for the good one, God. Thank you.
Yes.
No problem. Well, other people are like, oh, get it out. Where I'm like, take your time. We'll go on surveillance. A couple years, we'll take this thing out.
So crazy.
Well, because it's called judgment. It's called judgment.
Right, and scale. You also kind of scale it to what else is happening.
Yes,
That's
what else is out
funny.
there. Low libido and female. I'm a 28-year-old female, married at 22, child at 25. Never had a sex drive. The only time I can remember having desire for sex at the beginning of my pregnancy. Which is weird.
That's not the time I was ever ready.
It's the third.
Later.
Third trimester where it gets like intense sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is God's joke. This is the only time I haven't been on birth control. Oh, that's what it is. I do have a history of anorexia, now recovered. That can do it too. And MDD.
What's MDD?
Multiple. That might probably. I'm not because there's PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I don't know. She probably means mood. Contributing factor for many years. I've been a permanent effect as well. It's Australian. So yes, the anorexia can cause low libido, and whatever's in there going on with the eating disorder can have something to do with it as well. Oh, major depressive disorder. She's MDD, major depressive disorder. She had just depression, and unipolar depression, not bipolar depression, or she would have had a sex drive. And she is on these hormones, and not enough is made of the high-dose progesterones in the birth control pill, which shut people down.
They shut me down for so many years. They affect your personality. I was just like level for so many years. No high, no. It's very depressing. I hated being on it.
They never sit you down and go, hey, this could make a dry vagina. It could make you hurt when somebody ejaculates in you. It can make you have no libido. It can affect your mood. They don't discuss any of it.
None of it.
Yeah, and 10-20% may have permanent stuff that way.
Really?
Yeah, there's a guy named Dr. Goldstein in Washington, D.C., Virginia, that's doing research on this, and he's going to be able to give us a blood test one day to see what kind of estrogen receptor you have that kind of predicts whether you have more permanent or temporary effects of this. But
that's kind of cool.
I can't stop with these are such good emails. Give me one more second. So my friend and I got into an argument. Where is the male G-spot? She claims that it's in the butt. After watching a Grey's Anatomy episode where you guy shoves a spray can up his anus, apparently you don't have to be gay for that. So the male G-spot does not exist.
I thought it was a prostate.
Does not exist.
What, the prostate thing?
What happens to us guys like me that don't have a prostate? Right?
I don't know.
Nothing. It's fine. We're fine.
Wait, if you stimulate a prostate with a finger in the butthole?
Some guys like Ronnie likes the stuff. This is from the Howard Stern show. Likes the anus stimulated, like the stuff in there and stuff. That's just certain guys. That has nothing to do with a G spot. That's just something they like. Because again, they take our prostate out. It doesn't magically change our sexuality. Quite interesting. I was listening to Rogan the other day, and he got mixed up about orgasm and sperm. I want to state this for men out there. Sure. Your testes don't have anything to do with your orgasm. Nothing. Except they produce the testosterone that makes you want to have an orgasm, and they contract during orgasm, but they don't do anything. I've talked to you
They
about this.
mean they don't do anything. They're
Show
not
me-
the house
Get
for
me
the pee. They
get
don't
me
hold pee.
Nothing.
Let's
Give
see.
me the prostate and seminal vesicles. I guess I've had this conversation.
Seminal
with,
vesicles is the juice. That's where the
that's
liquid.
That's where the stuff. So hang on a second.
The liquid comes out.
So there we go. Give me that one on the left. Okay. So the prostate produces the fluid. It gets stored in those pink things. That's
In the
that's the
seminal
semen. That's
vesicle.
the semen. And then the vas deferens is where the sperm leaks down into the semen and joins the
So then,
semen.
what are the nuts doing?
They're just producing sperm cells and
Just
testosterone.
cells that go up into the vas deferens.
Yes.
And,
And so when they take our prostate out, we don't produce any more fluid. So we have fluid-free.
that's great.
Yeah.
What a great blessing.
Right?
No cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst part.
Mm-hmm. Men are messy. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to a voice message. What's wrong with us?
Hey, Dr. Drew. Love the show. For about the past 4 years, I've been clean from drugs and alcohol, and
Cool.
I've started to notice a lot of pain every day, and also whenever I shoot rope, it hurts really bad. Just wondering why that is. Keep it high and tight.
Jeez.
Yeah. When did the word when become whenever?
What do you mean?
He said when I shoot ropes, but he said whenever I shoot ropes.
Oh, that's right.
Whenever. No one says when anymore. They always say whenever.
Whenever. Interesting.
Whenever I go to the store.
Whenever. Right. What would
It's
be the
when-
difference
when I go to the
Because it's just happening, not all times that are times that I do this thing.
Right. It's when I ejaculate. It hurts.
Yeah.
So anyway, keep an eye on that one. It's going to drive you crazy now.
Well,
'cause it-
impactful makes me want to gouge my eyes out when I hear that one. I fucking hate that word.
impactful. I'm going to use it more.
That's so dumb.
But in any event, I don't know why that has happened to you. It probably doesn't have anything to do with your sobriety. I'm wondering if you're on any medication, perhaps, that's doing this. But you should see a urologist for sure.
Urologists.
And he also didn't describe to me the nature of the pain. Is he having urethral pain, or is he having
where's the
pubococcygeus pain, or what's going on? So it needs to be evaluated further. Give me a young lady's voice message. You know, I keep craving those, right?
Hi, my name is Caroline. I have a question about trichotillomania. I've been suffering with it for almost 15 years, and it's getting progressively worse. And now I'm even picking at my skin, and I don't know what to do. I've gone through therapy, and I have medicine, but I need a suggestion about what to do. I'm kind of panicking because I have a huge bald spot, and my legs are covered in scabs and scratches from me picking.
Oh boy.
All right, thank you.
So explain what
trichotillomania is hair pulling. And you can pull your eyebrows, your eyelash, pull your hair out, and you get bald spots. It's a common condition. It's on the obsessive compulsive disorder spectrum. There is a great organization out there called the Obsessive Compulsive International Obsessive Compulsive Disorder Federation, IOCDF.org. Go to their website. They have tons of resources. There's also Trichotillomania Society out there that was lots of resources and support for you. The key things to remember is, yes, there are cognitive behavioral kinds of things that sometimes work, but not that often. There's medicines that sometimes work. But the one thing about those medicines is you have to take them in very high doses, way higher than is used, say, for depression, for it to work at all, which obviously has side effects and things. And a lot of people with trichotillomania learn to live with it. It tends to be kind of a chronic thing, sort of stays, much like we're learning to deal with COVID. We're living with COVID now.
But how do you live with picking your hair and your...
You accommodate it.
So you pick in different regions?
And then people teach you how they've sort of managed it. They can, the hair products, and the fact that she's onto her skin is kind of concerning, and the picker syndrome can be very severe. Stay with the people that are treating you. Make sure, usually Paxil, or that they use high doses of that, like 60 milligrams. And get involved with the societies. Just having that support sometimes diminishes it too, because the IOCDF.org and then the trichotillomania groups.
Well, because I have forms of OCD too, and my anxiety gets into overdrive.
So there's two kinds of anxiety, right?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
There's the OCD version, which is what you and I
productive
have.
kinds.
Productive
That's us.
anxiety. We can put it to good use sometimes. And then there's the depression anxiety. And then there's the anxiety that causes depression. Right, so there's people that for whom anxiety is like an intolerable feeling, and it's so intolerable they get depressed, and alcoholics tend to do that. That's sort of an alcoholic thing, And you and I are anxious all the time.
Yeah.
You just live with it.
Yeah.
I remember once I had like for SED, which is this very powerful sedative for a procedure, and I was still awake before I went to sleep, and I went, oh, I wonder if this is what normal people feel like. This is what it feels like to be awake and not have anxiety.
Just relaxed and existing.
Awake and not have anxiety. It's like, well, how does that work?
Yeah.
So, but the OCD stuff goes along with that. Yeah.
So the only time, hold on, I was going to ask you. So what determines what type of manifestation the
Genetics.
OCD takes?
Oh, the OCD. Oh, what is?
Well, how come I'm not picking my hair out of my scalp versus?
I suspect had you
behaviors?
stayed goth, you would have gotten there. I believe that might have happened.
You mean the trauma, like untreated, unresolved stuff?
I don't know that anybody can meaningfully say, here's the reason. Right? What did I say about genetics? At least 60% of our behavior is based on genetics. So there's probably some genetic piece to it. Yeah. And then maybe it's some critical period of development. You heard about it, saw it, started doing it, whatever. It was gratifying in some way, and there it goes.
That's true, because when I started cutting myself as a 14-year-old, somebody had done it in front of me, like a girlfriend was doing it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's an idea. Not a good one, but an idea. Yeah, and it had that girl and I not hung out, maybe I not have done that behavior.
So there's a contagion also to it. But think about with cutting. How did you use the cutting? It's kind of interesting when you break down cutting styles.
I was so depressed. It was on my arms.
Right. And so what were you doing?
I was listening to The Cure in the dark and cut myself up.
And what was the cutting doing? Were you
relieving? It's a relief because you're so fucked up.
Was it
out of your mind,
like an aggression that's released, or is it a euphoria in the cutting?
Euphoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are people use the cutting in different ways. Some use it to dissociate. It helps them dissociate.
Sure.
Some use it to get back in their body if they're chronically dissociated. They can feel something finally.
Yeah, I like
and
that
a lot use it to get the euphoria going again, sort of.
Yeah, it kind of took me out of whatever it was I was up to. Yeah, it was so terrible. Gosh. Well, I mean, better that than like a long-term eating disorder, I guess, right? Like if I had a friend that was bulimic or anorexic, I probably would have adapted.
Yeah, maybe. Again, that has certain genetic stuff too. But the cutting can become chronic too.
Oh, well, I knocked it off. Just,
good for you. You wanted to get laid.
Yeah, of course I wanted to get laid. And I was getting laid because I was cute. I was fucked up, but I was hot, okay? Okay. Hot goth 15-year-old.
I'm fascinated by a video up there entitled
Which one?
Caught Shitting in the Garden.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the Asian woman again?
Well, see, that was last time, and now there's this one from the UK.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, they're practicing their COVID distancing and masking. That's good. Okay.
You fucking clown. You just took a shite in my garden, you freak.
Clean it up.
Here, you come anywhere near me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, he sounds so desperate. I had to go.
I'm sorry.
I found a corner.
Here, look.
He's like, I'm getting out of here.
I'm clean it up. Here. Just take a shite in my garden. You just take a... Oh, here. That's brilliant, huh? Yeah.
It's a little town, too. He's going for the bus. I'm leaving this town. I'm never coming back. Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, in his defense, there's not a lot of places that you can take a shit now in public because of COVID, probably.
Right. And look, and if people get desperate, then something's coming. They got to go do something. That was a perfect little corner. It just happened to be somebody's garden. And I like the way he's like, I'll make it good. I'll clean it up. I'll do whatever. I'm so humiliated. Thank God he had a mask on for his sake.
I know.
But I like the guy. I like the Brit. Like, screw it. We're going to humiliate the hell out of you.
He was laughing, which is the right. Like, if someone took a shit in my garden. Wait, first of all, what kind of a fucking depressing garden was that? Let's go back to the top.
Yeah, it was just an alley.
Looks more like an alley.
Yeah, why does he call that his garden? Let's be fair.
Garden, homie. That's your garden. It's a wire. Is that the dump there?
I know. I can't tell.
It's a leaky dump.
Yeah, that's really embarrassing.
It's a runny dump. He had diarrhea. That is a diarrhea dump.
Sucks.
Woo! The guy's so relieved that he's like didn't get it all over himself. He's like, I thought I escaped. Oh my God. I like that he runs away. It's so good. It's so good. All right, give me another one.
Poor guy.
What else you got up your sleeve there? British Karen.
Yeah, those are always good.
That's a Karen?
Well, it's in Britain. They're a little different Karens.
Okay. Look at what are the shoes? Oh my God, the slippers.
Yeah. Oh, that's a mail truck.
And
what are you doing? What are you doing that for? Hey, why are you doing that? You've attacked my son's car 3 times. You pulled the sticker off it.
I like she's just standing there like, what?
She's like, yeah. What?
Bewildered.
What, legal to park over somebody's drive?
Is it right? Don't get too close, please, because I don't want to breathe the same air as you.
Well, you are, unfortunately. Yes.
Well, it's corona if you don't mind, so keep back off.
You back off.
He is backing off. He's specifically backing off.
Christ.
You stop vandalising my fucking son's car, right?
You're a bully.
Why am I?
You're a thief.
Just get her in, will you?
You're like stealing from your workplace.
Why am I stealing from a workplace?
You're a criminal.
Why am I a criminal?
Well, for one, you're using your phone, aren't you?
Oh, it's good evidence, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just keep...
Like the Brits are as into this as the Americans are.
I know. I like the foreign ones.
I'm recording you.
Yeah.
I like the way she's got that. It's like kind of a movie with the stick going down repeatedly.
Yes.
It's like Frankenstein coming at him.
Well, she doesn't wear a supportive bra, which always bothers me.
There's no bra there, is there? Or is
I see a line now that I look, but it's not a supportive one. Like,
yes. But if it was supportive, I mean, she might imbalance her. You know what I mean?
Shit, man. That's brutal. And she's very winded from just walking from the car.
Well, with all that fatty tissue on top of her
that
chest.
Tit meat, yeah.
Tit meat. That's what I meant, Christina.
Heavy tits. Those are big old whoppers. She's like a J.
Okay, let's keep going. Where does this go?
Yeah, where does it go?
That's the it.
That's it? She doesn't swing that bat at him or anything?
Yeah, it's a talk. You know, it's limited time on this.
Okay. God, I always want to know. Talks are so frustrating for me. I want to hear more.
Would you rather?
She was not a Karen, by the way. That was not a Karen. That was I don't know what that was, but it was not a Karen.
She's a dumpers. Dumpy fun
No,
bags.
she was complaining about someone parking in front of her driveway.
Yeah, it was a Karen-esque complaint, but she didn't deliver it like a Karen. She delivered it like, oh, enough. Okay.
But hold on. Would you rather make sweet love to British Karen and really make love? Like, you must look in her eyes and deliver.
Like I like it?
Like you love her, yeah. Or you've got to take a shit. Every time you shit, it's got to be in that guy's garden. And he berates you and puts it on the internet.
These are tough would you rathers.
It's my skill.
See, I had a feeling I was immediately going to go for the shit in the garden because I figure like we'd befriend ourselves. It'd be a common joke. He'd look forward to it every day.
It would be your thing.
Yeah, but if he's going to berate me every time, I guess I'd eventually.
Well, he's going to put it online. Like, it would become a joke between you two, but he's like, oh, it's Dr. Drew again. Taking a shit in my garden.
And if I was with Karen, it would have to be, no one would know about it. Right?
Nobody would know about
Karen.
I
guess I'd have to go for Karen. I'd have to do Karen. Oh, my God.
Wow. Wow, could you even get erect with the
You
British
didn't mention that. You didn't say that was a requirement.
You have to make sweet love to her. What do you think that entails?
Lots of things. You can
Okay.
You have to divert attention.
You have to give Karen sweet orgasms.
I know.
You might become a viral sensation with the shitting stuff. Like, it might become like, oh my God, Dr. Drew.
Well, and to be fair, if that's the model video, it's upon completion of the shit, the video gets started.
Yeah.
Now you got me back to the shitting. See,
it could be fun. It could be a thing you do.
How many times?
You got to do this, both scenarios, for 1 year.
Oh, Jesus, I'll shit. I thought you meant one time. I'll shit in the garden.
Oh, no, it's a year.
Oh, no, I'm shitting in the garden. No problem. No problem. No problem.
Well, plus you could do your plugs. Like,
whatever.
You could be like, Dr. Drew After Dark, after you're running away.
How you like that, Christina P?
Yeah.
That one's for you. This one's for you.
Okay.
Oh, my God, the places we go.
Well, I see.
Let's take a little break so I can tell you about our friends at Theragun. I love these products. Of course, stress of daily life is weighing on all of us, whether you're an athlete or just a regular person trying to get through the day. I use Theragun. I tell you what, muscle pain, muscle tension is a real thing. And I got a thing right here that Theragun has been almost life-changing for me in terms of reducing my sort of scapular muscle problems. It's a handheld percussive device that releases deep muscle tension using a scientifically calibrated combination of depth, speed, and power. And now it's quiet as an electric toothbrush, particularly the smaller ones, this triangle-shaped device, and I bring it with me when I travel. All new Gen 4 Theragun also has proprietary brushless motor that's so quiet you'll wonder if it's on. Well, my dog gets scared by other guns, and this one he doesn't mind at all. You can soothe your achy muscles with Theragun's signature power, amplitude, and effectiveness. And I kid you not, when I started using this Theragun, again, I like both of them, but particularly the the new device, I just thought, man, massage therapists are going to be in for trouble because this is giving me more in a much shorter period of time. Try Theragun risk-free for 30 days, and you'll be hooked, I promise. There is no substitute for the Theragun Gen 4 with OLED screen, personalized Theragun app, and quiet and power you need. It starts at only $199. And when you think about what you pay for massage therapy, this you can use forever. It's fantastic. I really do love this product. Go to Theragun.com/Dr. Drew right now. Get your Gen 4 Theragun today. That is Theragun, THERAGUN.com/Dr. Drew. Theragun.com/Dr. Drew. You will thank me. Next up is Upstart. And of course, during these turbulent times economically, everyone is looking for a way to feel more financially secure. And you may be needlessly throwing your money every month at high interest rate credit card debt. It is time you checked out Upstart, the revolutionary online lending platform that lets you know you are more than just a credit score. Now is the time to find out how low your Upstart rate can be to help pay off high interest rate credit card debt. Unlike other lenders, Upstart can reward you based on your education and job history. It's in the form of a smarter rate. You don't need a degree to apply, however, or a diploma even. Upstart lets you skip going to the bank because it is entirely online. They offer loans from $1,000 to $50,000 so you can consolidate your debt into one easy fixed payment, and something to really pay attention to now in these uncertain times. Upstart makes it fast and simple to check your rate. Since it's just a soft pull, it will not affect your credit score. The hard pull happens if you accept your rate and proceed with your application. Best part, though, is if the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. Over 400,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit card debts or meet their financial goals. Free yourself from the burden of high interest rate credit card debt and get back to using your money your way with Upstart. See why Upstart has a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Trustpilot. And hurry to upstart.com/Dr. Drew to find out how low your Upstart rate can be. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. That is upstart.com/Dr. Drew. Your loan amount will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Not all applicants will qualify for the full amount. Now let's go back to the show. Why is Tony Johns up there? What is that?
He's the best.
Okay.
But you know what? You didn't know this, but Tony Johns has started studying medicine as well, and he has some thoughts on COVID-19.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just want to let everybody know, this COVID, 19 virus, it's getting, pretty dangerous,
He's done the research. He's been working with Fauci very closely.
Okay.
I personally am super spooked out about this COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad, because all you really got to do, is shower and wash your hands.
That's it? That prevents
and
COVID?
like a
Wow.
lot of people, they don't do that.
They don't shower, huh?
They don't shower.
No, so what I'm asking from people...
Strangely, I'm masking, and yet he doesn't mention masks. I'm masking, and yet no mask mentioned. Crazy.
Well, I told you that he's been doing his own independent research.
And I bet whenever he does his research.
So what I'm asking from people, is just to wash your hands, shower,
Shower.
distance yourself.
Okay,
See,
okay.
I'm on a self quarantine right now. I'm not, having any girls. I'm not. Well, I partied with a girl last night.
Oh, okay. Except the one. Except one. Okay.
I'm gonna self quarantine myself.
2 weeks out, 2 weeks off for that one transgression. Okay.
To people, if more people would self-quarantine, if more people would, not go out, they would eat at home. I've been making, my SpaghettiOs at home and my ramen noodle, and I got a whole bunch of Eggos.
Oh, is this serious? Is this
I
him?
think so. I think this is him.
Woo.
By the way, Emily, you left your coat in my place.
He's
about
wearing
3
it?
weeks ago. I need you to come scoop up this coat, Emily.
Oh my God.
This is your
He's the
jacket.
best.
Yes, I am wearing a
I'm
female's jacket.
I'm feeling more sorry for him than I have in the past.
Why? Oh, he's happy. He's in a good place. He's
Is
got
he?
his SpaghettiOs. He's got Emily.
COVID, 19,
Tony Johns, everybody.
He's the best. He's my favorite. I really adore him. But look, he's not picking trash up on the side of the highway anymore, which is what he was doing as part of parole, because he had a DUI, baby. Woo! So we're done with that, and now he's safe indoors. He's eating his ramen, his SpaghettiOs.
He's not hurting anybody.
He's having a good time. He's still getting laid.
Yeah, well, it's a transgression. It was sort of a, God damn it, last night. Yes, I guess I did.
But he has to let you know that he's still getting laid because he's Tony Johns. He's a man, dude. He's awesome.
Oh my God, it's so weird.
Enough of that.
Let's talk about drugs or mental illness. That's some of my favorite. That's always my favorite.
It's my favorite
we ought to have like maybe a little special segment every week. Drugs or mental illness.
It's the best.
Ooh, look at her. I'm in love.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's pretty.
I'm just learning your Visayan language. Your Visayan language is all over your fucking brother. Why? Because we're standing against you. My grandma's right behind you, fucking traitor. Fucking traitor. Grandma fucking bite that bitch.
When she's cross-eyed. Oh, that's mania. Okay.
That's mania.
Stop it.
You're possessed by somebody. Who are you?
I'm the Pualani of Guam. I'm the last of the Pierce bloodline. Tip to toe. I'm a fucking walking mermaid, bitch.
Now, see, looking up like that, the cocaine does that.
So what are we talking about?
I wonder if there's a cocaine psychosis with mania in here too.
Drugs or mental
illness?
Both.
I think it's both. Because that looking up is really characteristic of crack.
Fucking sky, bitch. Look up at the sky. That's God. You don't appreciate God? Because that's Apollo's greed, October 12th.
Stop.
Lucky thing, I'm a fucking blessing, blood. I'll fucking make it rain on your ass. That's why all I see is fucking
Look
falling
at the
stars.
eyes. The
That's
eyes
how
going
we won
around.
all fucking
So what's
50
that?
states.
Stop it already.
Hang on, slow. You notice how in a car
drink your blood. That's what we do, blood.
I love her.
Yeah,
you know, in a cartoon, they make the eyes go crazy.
Yeah.
This is a living.
Oh, the mania. Wait, but is it mania or
it's
drugs?
psychosis.
Psychosis.
Well, she's psychotic, but the question is it just a pure bipolar, or the looking up makes me throw in a little drug? And of course, always, hallucinogens or amphetamines can do this, can look just like this, but there's something a little sort of. She doesn't look like a meth user, right?
No.
Teeth are intact, things like that. She's a little thin, but could be some early meth stuff in a bipolar patient. Could be all hallucinogen psychosis. That happens too.
Yeah.
That would kind of fit with this. But I think it's mania with cocaine. I'm going to guess. That'd be my guess.
With cocaine.
I want to see more of her though, because I'm totally fascinated.
I'm telling you the truth, you fucking liar. You think that scares me? I'll kick that shit down. You want to see a Spartan kick, bitch? From a mermaid? Huh?
Stop.
She's a mermaid.
Stop
You
it.
see how the thoughts aren't connecting?
Hurry up before I take your bite. Wait, Hudson, Hulu, not finna boca do. You better not touch me, bitch.
And then speaking in tongues and mermaid kick, drop kick. So
fantastic.
I
love
this
girl.
Yeah, me too. They're so creative when they go into that. Like, I'm
They
gonna fucking drop kick you
They
like
like
a
it.
mermaid,
They like
bitch.
those states. They don't like it when they get quite this agitated, but just short of this, it's kind of
because it's
They
invigorating.
will always say they don't always say it, but one characteristic thing they will say is they slip into this. They'll go, "I figured it out." They'll scream, "I figured it out."
Yeah.
They feel like they've figured out the meaning of life, and it's all located in them, even though it's all out there. They get boundaries sort of collapse, and it's oof.
It's like LSD. You've
like
been a
LSD,
nice acid trip where you're like, fuck, I see it all, dude.
So where is she? She's in Guam?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how this woman with the camera started.
I think she's saying that she's from Guam, but I think this might be in Hawaii.
Hawaii. And how did this come into contact with the camera lady in the first place? That's the part that I find it fascinating. And her hair's well done and nice, right?
Yeah.
So
she's
groomed. Yeah,
clean.
she's not.
Remember Maria? Her mom is one of me too. The last fucking sirens. You put my daughter in jail.
You don't even have kids.
Yeah, so I don't have mercy. I don't have knowledge on mercy of children.
Wow, that's kind of smart. She's like, yeah, bitch, I'm even badder because of it.
It's so good.
Oh,
yeah.
Stop. You're possessed. Stop it, because you're possessed.
Because I'm
Stop.
fucking ultra mortal.
Stop.
Oh shit, nigga, you better step back as
Stop.
fucking.
I like the way she thinks it's a possession. It's straight up mental illness.
But do you think that maybe back in the day when people thought they're being possessed, it was just like bipolar?
Of course. Or all mental illnesses were some sort of possession of one type or another. So, is this all we got on her? I could watch this all day.
I know, it's riveting.
So bring it back to the beginning again, because I wasn't prepared for it. So I wasn't watching that carefully. So no.
You're slithering most.
You're slithering.
I'm just learning your Visayan language.
Oh.
Your Visayan language is all over your fucking brother. Why? Because we're standing against you. My grandma's right behind you, fucking traitor. Fucking traitor. Grandma fucking bite.
Look at the eyes.
The eyes.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the speaking in tongues stuff, she's really manic. Yeah.
Well, poor thing. I hope she finds treatment because
I know it's intense.
She can hurt herself and somebody else too accidentally. And this goes on. This ends in death.
Yeah.
Drug addiction ends in death. These are medical conditions that kill people or they kill other people. Whatever it is, ends up horrible, horrible, horrible for that person. And that person will be pissed when they get treatment and look back and say,
yes,
you let me walk around like that?
Yeah.
What is the matter with you?
I know.
They are all pissed.
If she can straighten, I know.
She can be straightened out really easily.
Right, with just some meds and an environment.
Easy. I mean, I don't know how much it's drugs. I mean, the drug might be harder to treat, but the mania is easy to treat.
The mania is easy to treat.
It is. Manias are really easy to treat. I mean, generally,
if they take it,
landed.
If they take their medicine.
Well, they have to stay on the medicines to prevent that from happening again. But getting them landed in the first place is pretty easy.
Because Brody didn't want to take his meds, right? Like that's why he commits suicide. Brody Stevens.
Oh, right.
Our buddy. Yeah. It's because he just didn't want to. Like he enjoyed.
They like the highs. They like the highs, and they don't like how they feel when they're flat. They feel sort of flat when they're normal, and or they get not the right medicines, the right side effects are there. They're not really working on it, trying to find the right combination.
Yeah,
I mean, you should be able to find something that you don't even know you're taking.
He was on Lexapro, which I thought is that to treat bipolar? Like
to treat, he would get in some pretty heavy depressions, but you got to have something to prevent the lid from coming off. So you go on a depression and then a mood stabilizer. So you'd go on Lexapro and Depakote, or Lexapro, and you learned about lamotrigine, or remember last week we were talking
Lamictal.
about Lamictals we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see another voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, Dr. Drew.
Hey.
Love your podcast. Been watching since episode 1. Been wearing my jeans high and tight for about 5 years now.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I've been seeing this one girl, and she kind of has these self-confidence problems, and sometimes I pull a Josh Potter and I can't come, and she gets really offended and asks, well, is it for me? And I kind of have to pretend like I care and be like, no.
What a good guy.
But yeah, what should I say in those situations? Have a good day, man.
What should I say to pretend like I care? Psychopath. But anyway, So
it's amazing. That was my favorite voicemail I've ever heard. Wait, what can I say to shut this dumb bitch up? She's all fucking her with her stupid feelings.
So
right?
Yes.
Oh, it's amazing.
So essentially 100% of women will blame themselves at least the first couple times
of course.
Because they're so used to men being quick that when someone doesn't come, they figure it's got to be me. And I will tell you, having dealt with thousands of men that have this problem, certainly hundreds, it essentially never has anything to do with the women, ever.
Oh.
It's either just like Josh Potter, that's just his thing, or it's nothing to do with her. I mean, guys are with a woman because they want to be there really badly. That's why they're there. Not because they sort of want to be there. They don't do what women do. Like, okay, I guess they're like, I really, really, really want to be here. And if they can't ejaculate it, they're pissed too.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. So we don't think about that bit, is that they really, really want to ejaculate, like more than anything. So it's really frustrating for them. And don't you think they want to?
Yes.
So you should be like, look, bitch, you don't think I want to bust a nut? Like,
whenever.
This shit pisses me off too, you stupid bitch.
So that's what to say, evidently. So
take a chill pill. Damn, get some self-esteem.
Reassure her. It's not a self-esteem thing. This is just every female. Women generally put themselves at the core of a problem always.
It is so true. And I've had to undo that. Can I tell you, that is another part of growing up in the matrix as a woman. There's a lot of layers to matrixizing myself. That is number one. It's not all your fault. The world doesn't fucking revolve around you. I watch how dudes handle things, and I just mimic. I see Tom just, no, fuck that guy, brush it off. I'm like, oh yeah, why do I give a shit? Fuck, next. Like, I've learned to just get the dirt off your shoulder, like Jay-Z said. Get the fucking dirt off your shoulder. So what
women do is they do an inventory first. They do like an inventory. What did I do? What was it? What's the feeling? Is it the relationship? Was it the diet? Was it blah, 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 blah.
Am I too fat? Am I ugly? Does he not find me attractive?
As opposed to putting it, the one time you should put it out there in the world and sort of think, is this situation or this person more than just me have something to do with this? So it's good news, bad news. Good news is it's always good to look internally for how you're feeling and not put your internal states out there. But sometimes, again, to quote this week, Groucho Marx, oh no, actually this is Dr. Freud, sometimes a cigar
is just a cigar.
Just a good smoke.
I like that.
Yes.
Is that what he said? It's just a good smoke?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
well, I tell you, I did that more in my 20s when I had boys that couldn't begok too, because I'm like,
oh, you had that. Oh my goodness.
What is going on? Like, I dyed my hair blonde. I gave up the velvet dresses and the fishnet, arms. Come on, bro. Yeah, and then you realize, like, most of this stuff ain't about me in the world.
Right.
Sometimes it is, but
yeah,
most of the time.
It's good to think about it, but don't locate it there. Think it all the way through. So we haven't really have we talked about what we do in the shadows? We've mentioned it.
We mentioned it. It's my favorite.
I'm in love with that show.
I know.
And I don't give a shit that it has anything to do with vampires.
Yeah.
What I like is the setup is ridiculous, but the acting and the execution is brilliant.
So good, and it's very cleverly written. It's really funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just happens to be about vampires, but it's so funny. And the woman, it's really about a woman putting up with 3 men.
That's so funny you interpret it that way. It is, yes.
A lot of it is that.
I see.
She's like, you with your toilet and your pee-pee and your poo-poo and your wieners. It's like she's constantly saying that.
I know. I didn't realize how much male energy I've been around until I hung out with some chicks yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and actually,
you've got 3 in your house.
Well,
even though they're 5 or 2 or whatever they are, it's still male energy. It's what people don't get.
Well, let me tell you. So Pierce Paris came in. He did the opening stunt for Your Mom's House Live. And he's a porn actor, so he dropped trowel. And I audibly was like, like I haven't seen another man's penis in real life in 15 years in the same proximity as me. And I was like, oh my God, am I allowed to look at this? It was so weird. I was very like, oh, I can't believe how modest I was.
And what did he do?
He was like, oh, he's so sweet, because he's sweet. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And Tom was like, no, sorry, she's just
keep
shocked.
going.
Yeah, you're fine. He's like, should I cover up? I'm like, no, you're good, man. I see dicks, just not dicks like that big. And he was so clean shaven, It was fucking alarming.
Alarming about the clean shaving was
clean
alarming?
shaven, yeah. Like Tom's so hairy, and like I said, I haven't seen another man naked.
So the alarming part was the comparison.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's like a hairless, smooth
penis
dolphin. Yeah, I was like, you're a fucking dolphin, dude. Anyways, but you're right. Women really have to be deprogrammed in society. It is a real legit
but
thing.
Let's remind ourselves 60% of behavior is genetic, so there's a proclivity to do that you have to fight against if you want to undo that, right?
Yeah.
And then society does its thing with it on top of that.
Yeah. It's an interesting point. I forget who was talking about it. Maybe it was like a Jordan Peterson. They were talking about Caitlyn Jenner transitioning to be a woman, Bruce Jenner, when he became Caitlyn. And it was like, the hallmark of that was she was on the cover of like some big magazine, like Time made her like Woman of the Year. And like, aren't the feminists mad that even a man does being a woman better than them?
Right. That a man is taking over. Yeah. This is some of the problems with the logic and all this stuff too, because if gender doesn't exist, then gay doesn't exist.
Oh, that's interesting, right?
Gender doesn't exist.
So then we're not anything. There is no.
There's just you're just into certain body parts or something.
So then what are we? Yeah, that's true. It's really interesting.
But again, the logic gets screwy if you really follow it all the way
If you follow it the whole way through, exactly. And also, what do we do about sports?
Rogan goes nuts on that.
I know, and it's fucking reasonable. It's like, well, if you let a male play against MMA.
Somebody's going to get hurt is what's going to
happen.
Killed. Yeah. If a male to female transgender gets in a ring with somebody at the same weight class,
it's crazy.
It could really be harmful. Yeah.
Well, I was even talking, I took my tennis lesson this morning, and I was like, hey, dude, where does Serena rank? And he's like, honestly, between all the men and the women, she's like number 500. And even she would say that because, she could beat, there's men she can beat, but even she said, like, I don't want to go up against like a top male, whatever, because I'll get killed. And it's like, well, yeah.
That's crazy to me because she seems so powerful.
She is very powerful. But he did say that she could beat many men.
Sure.
But like even Serena is like, I don't want to play the top male players because that's not going to fucking. So that's an argument for gender existing, wouldn't you say?
or just an argument about sports and keeping sports fair.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Be very careful.
And I don't want to piss and shit where guys pee and poo. Just so you know,
here you are, Christina. Here you are.
But I've gone to those toilets that are like whoever can shit, and I'm like, I don't want to share.
So you don't like the trough that we pee in
No.
this morning? We pee in a trough or a wall. Have you seen those?
I don't like it at all.
We stand at a wall with water running down it, or we stand at a trough.
I know.
Mm-hmm. And yeah.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
You don't need it?
I don't need it.
Another voice message.
Hey, doctor.
Hey.
Talk about making white. So I've always had really big loads, like scared I'd kill somebody with them.
Good for you.
But I recently got a vasectomy, and I've noticed they've gotten even larger.
What?
Is there a reason behind this? Thanks, bye.
What? That's awesome.
Well, part of getting the vasectomy is you have to delay for a while. You're not allowed to jack yourself off. You have to not orgasm for a while.
How long? Because Tom's a week in a few days.
I think it's usually like 2 weeks or so.
Oh, I think he already broke his weight.
Well,
he did it one way.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But so I wonder if it has something to do with that. I can't imagine what else it would be, and I'm wondering if he has such large loads, how much larger is he going to really notice? You know what I mean?
I know, that's true. Like,
as
how
a
is
percentage of large, maybe he's just imagining it's larger.
You're saying we should do a scientific inquiry.
We'd have to measure it, yes. We'd have to go and measure, get a beaker, you know those beakers?
I remember beakers.
And we'd pour it in with an Erlenmeyer flask.
Yes, I need,
sir. And have a cylinder, you know, a graduated cylinder.
Yes.
Yes.
And how can you say that your loads are larger? Have we done the analysis?
Right.
Have we run the numbers?
We have to run the numbers.
I believe this is called anecdotal medicine.
Not even anecdotal, just it's observational, and we have to really quantify this.
Thank you.
Let's do a little talkie here. Tick-talkie.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't done no talks today to speak of, have we?
Come on, not today.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is awesome. I like this one.
Oh, my God.
This is the dirtiest man in the world. Mao Haji is in his 80s and he hasn't bathed for over 60 years.
Good for him.
He leads a nomadic lifestyle in Iran, and his favorite food is rotten porcupine, and he smokes animal feces out of a pipe.
What?
He believes that cleanliness will bring him sickness, and he says the thought of taking a bath after all this time makes him angry.
Oh.
Medically, sir? What are we thinking?
Phobia? Some sort of phobia of something, you know, getting sort of weird, like he's probably psychotic underneath all that. The fact that he smokes animal feces and eats rotten porcupine.
Yeah, it's a flag.
Wow. And I like the way they have the perfectly clean blonde chick next to him.
She's great. Her account is great. It's
what does
called
she
Live
do?
on the Edge, and she posts things like this. Like,
do you have more of her?
No, I'll dig. But I'm asking you. So medically, what can happen to you if you have this much dirt on you? Can it contribute to sickness?
Oh, of course. If you got a wound, you're on. It's
Forget
on.
it.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, you know, there's the sewer rat theory, right? That you gain if you're being exposed to things chronically, your immune system learns to fight stuff off pretty well. The fact that he's alive suggests he's been fighting a lot of things off.
This guy can cure COVID, probably or like bubonic plague.
He'd probably be a carrier. Probably
a carrier. Yeah. But the medievals, didn't they believe that bathing, would make you sick too?
Yes.
So it's kind of a.
But he's actually into dirtiness, right? He's actually
How long have you gone without showering? What's the longest?
Oh, I'm sure it's been a week or something somewhere, but not intentionally. Like if I was out backpacking or something.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. I had a friend who just went 7 days. It was a lady, and she was like, "I went 7 days." I'm like, "I think you're depressed."
That's probably true.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Another
a lady too.
Yeah, a lady. I know it's weird. Another TikTok.
More than a third tested positive for alcohol. Almost 1 in 10 had cocaine in their system. I love cocaine.
That's just a good comedy.
I love Ireland. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny, by the way. I heard another part of people are going, well, in Europe they do this properly. They introduce alcohol to kids at age 5. Europe has out of control alcoholism. Of control. They have the highest incidence of alcoholic liver disease in the world.
I know.
And unless you're a severe alcoholic, like you're falling down dead drunk with liver disease, they don't identify it as alcoholism.
I know.
Yeah.
I used to tell my parents, like, hey, I think my dad's an alcoholic. And they'd be like, he's not alcoholic. He goes to work every day.
Right.
Alcoholic is face down in the street. They don't work.
Right.
Because same in communism, too, people had no reason to live. So they would just wake up, drink, and go work on the assembly line all fucking day.
And the earlier the exposure, the higher the probability of difficulty drinking. Of course. And the same thing applies to adolescent mice.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you can show the same thing in genetically prone mice. If you expose the alcohol early, they lose control, more likely to lose control later.
But you're right, because in the UK, I mean, there are people in the pubs at like 10:30 a.m. Just out, ripped.
Yeah,
ripped.
Yeah. I remember I was in Italy, and our waiter was wasted. He was dropping stuff there, and the other waiter's like, "That's Joe. That's the waiter. That's the drunk waiter. That's Joe, the drunk waiter." Is he funny? And like, not like, "Oh my God, this guy's in real trouble. He's gonna be dead in 3 years."
But where you and I are from, like Ukraine, Hungary, all these places, like rampant alcoholism for sure.
One more TikTok. Come on now.
TikTok, so you don't good. Stop.
Uh-oh.
This one's funny. I like this one.
What is that? Dog. Oh, thank you for those good TikToks. Those are nice.
What would you do if your kid did that shit to you and Susan?
I would think of something to get back at them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would do it back. Something better.
Retaliation.
I'd be like, "Hey man, I got more resources than you. I'm gonna hire some sort of giant shit. I'm gonna hire something. It's on.
It's a good idea.
We're gonna get at this. Well, this has been fun as always. What?
This one's my favorite one. Okay, this guy's I've been sending him to all my friends. Okay. You're really gonna like this one. Go ahead.
That's it?
Just keep watching. You don't like it? You're not turned on? You know
what this is? It's a new kind of like ASMR, right? I bet out there in the world there is somebody that likes that. That's probably why that's why he does it.
Yeah.
Oh my
He's
God.
so amazing. I love him.
Does he do other stuff or just always just kisses?
Yeah, some are kisses. Some are just courting, wooing the ladies. His whole thing is like just courting ladies.
What's on his head?
A tattoo.
But what? Of what?
It's like a carpet design, like a paisley.
No, come on.
Yeah.
Usually the head tattoos are very meaningful. Like they declare the major. It's a piggy. It's a wolf. Come on.
I don't know. I can't get past the kissing and the sticker.
It's
on
a
his
bird,
glasses.
Isn't it?
I don't know, but I don't know why he doesn't take the sticker off his glasses.
His head.
On the top of the head.
What a bat?
Kind of looks like marker that he's just filling in.
No, that's a tattoo.
Oh,
dude.
You know what?
I hope so. I hope it's a tattoo. Or has he got weird hair stuff?
Maybe he has a hairline thing and he's trying to like make it cool.
Is it pretending it's hair? What'd you do? You'd make something out of it. Is there any out there? Well, see, look at the weird beard too.
The beard's out of control.
Be wary of males with pencil anything.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, pencil
Unless
beard,
you're in
pencil
Miami.
mustache.
Puerto Rican dudes, they do that a lot, and I like it.
Is there more of him where he lowers his head? We can see what the hell's on the top. No, you'll find.
I'll get some more. I'll say yeah.
Well, thank you again as always. It's been a pleasure. I feel much better as I always do when I come here and dissociate with you. And I think didn't we start talking about my family and the craziness?
Yeah.
We went all the way into kissing porn to ASMR. You have your own site for that.
Could you imagine on Twitch?
You should put it out there.
And he told me I could make $1 million just doing that on Twitch.
Yeah, because you have the lips.
I've got the lips. Yeah. This could be a whole
a whole
cameo
business. It's a
thing.
line of business for you.
Maybe I should do cameos for you.
Yes.
This one's for
Christina,
you, girl.
Nadab, set this up. No. Don't be corny about it. Just all you got to do is do the kissing. Nadab, seriously.
I could not have that around in the world. It's terrible.
It's a joke.
I
Come
know.
on. You're a comedian.
Oh, man. Anyway, super fun.
Okay, super fun as always, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the drdrew.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.